చేయండి అప్డేట్ అని వస్తుంది అప్డేట్ చేయండి 10 నిమిషాలు లాస్ట్
Good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So today we'll start a session with pancreas. Pancreas is a soft, finely lobulated, elongated exoendocrine gland. So it is soft, finely lobulated, and it is elongated exoendocrine gland. Means it is mixed. It has got both exocrine part as well as endocrine part. Exocrine part secretes pancreatic juice, which helps in digestion of lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, as well as endocrine part secretes hormones, so via insulin hormone. So in Greek, pan is all, krias is flesh. So thus pancreas is named because of its fleshy appearance. So as of pancreas is soft, finely lobulated, elongated exoendocrine gland, which has got both exocrine part as well as endocrine part. So exocrine part secretes pancreatic juice, while as endocrine part secretes hormones, that is insulin. And it is in Greek, pan is all and krias is flesh. So thus it is known as fleshy appearance. So what is its location? So how is it extended? And what parts it has got? We'll see here. Pancreas, it lies more or less horizontally concerned with posterior abdominal wall. So there are 9 regions so concerned with the abdominal wall. So that you already knew. So there is umbilical region, iliac region, lumbar region, hypochondric region, epigastric and hypogastric regions. And this pancreas will be situated concerned with epigastric as well as left hypochondric regions. So as there are 9 regions concerned with the anterior abdominal wall, so here we will be coming across the pancreas in 2 regions. One is epigastric, another one is left hypochondric regions. So it crosses posterior abdominal wall obliquely from the concavity of, so this is the concavity of duodenum. So concavity of duodenum to the hilum of spleen. So you can see head of pancreas seen within the concavity of duodenum, whereas the tail is embedded within the hilum of spleen. So this is the head part of pancreas and this is tail concerned with embedded in spleen. So they are lying opposite to T12 vertebrae and L3 vertebrae. So they are seen opposite to the level of 12 thoracic vertebrae and 3rd lumbar vertebrae. So head as well as tail. And if you see the greater part of the gland, it is retroperitoneal, that is seen behind the serous floor of sac. And its left extremity, that is nothing but tail, lies within the hilum of spleen. So know it again. So this will be lying with epigastric as well as left hypochondric region, and it crosses posterior abdominal wall obliquely within the concavity of duodenum to the hilum of spleen, opposite to the level of T12 and L3. So greater part of the gland is retroperitoneal and the left extremity is seen within the hilum of spleen. So that is the location of pancreas. And if you see the size as well as shape of pancreas, pancreas is J-shaped or retort shape, that is being set obliquely. So it is set obliquely, and the bowl of retort, if you see here, so it represents head, and the stem of retort represents neck, body as well as tail. You can see here head, this is neck part, body as well as tail. And if you see the measurements of this pancreas, length is of 15 to 20 centimeters in length. So length of pancreas is 15 to 20 centimeters and breadth is 2.5 to 3.8 centimeters. Breadth 2.5 to 3.8 centimeters and thickness is 1.2 to 1.8 centimeters and it weighs of about 80 to 90 grams. So that is regarding size and shape of pancreas. And if you see the parts, so there is subdivisions and as well as relations as we move across. So you can see for the purpose of description, pancreas is subdivided into 4 parts: head, neck, body, as well as tail. And within the head, we are going to observe uncinate process. So we'll see what exactly it is. And within the neck, we are going to observe, within the body, we are going to observe tuber omental. So you can see head, neck, body, tail. So within the head, you are going to see one process called uncinate process. And within the body, you are going to observe tuber omental. So this way, subdivisions concerned with pancreas. And one by one we'll see. Among this, first is the head of pancreas. The head of pancreas is enlarged, flattened, and it is seen concerned with the right part or right end of pancreas. So this is right end of pancreas and this is left end of pancreas and right end. So it is situated within the concavity of duodenum, C-shaped curve of duodenum. So this is head part lying within the C-shaped curve of duodenum. So what are the features of this head of pancreas? It is flattened from before backwards. It is flattened from before backwards and it lies across the posterior abdominal wall as discussed, and it is seen at the level of L1 to L2 vertebrae. So first and second lumbar vertebrae. And now the boundaries or the external features of head of pancreas, if you observe, so it has got 2 surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface, and 3 borders: upper border, lower border, and right lateral borders. So that's where 3 borders: upper border, lower border, and right lateral borders, and one process, that is uncinate process. So head presents 2 surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface, and 3 borders: upper border, lower border, and right lateral border, and one process, that is uncinate process. And if you see the anterior surface, and if you observe the relations from above downwards, what we're seeing concerned with the head of pancreas. So first part of duodenum, so you can see here, transverse colon. So this is transverse colon and the coils of jejunum and the first part of duodenum. You can see concerned with the anterior surface, first part of duodenum, transverse colon and coils of jejunum. So these are concerned with the anterior surface relations, and posterior surface, it is related to inferior vena cava, terminal parts of renal veins, bile duct, and right crus of diaphragm. So inferior vena cava, bile duct. So you can see here posterior relations, inferior vena cava, bile duct. So as we told, so terminal part of renal veins and right crus of diaphragm. So these were the parts related to the posterior surface of head of pancreas. So consider the anterior surface, you are going to observe first part of duodenum, transverse colon, and the coils of jejunum. So you are going to observe inferior vena cava, bile duct, as well as terminal parts of renal veins and right crus of diaphragm. And this is uncinate process, and this is related anteriorly to superior mesenteric vessels and posteriorly to abdominal aorta. Uncinate process is related to superior mesenteric vessels. So this is uncinate process. It is related to superior mesenteric vessels and posteriorly to abdominal aorta. So these were the relations concerned with the head of pancreas. Those were anterior relations and posterior relations. So even you have to come across the uncinate process, which is concerned with superior mesenteric vessels as well as aorta. And then the borders concerned here with its relations. So superior border, it is related to first part of duodenum as well as the superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is a branch of gastroduodenal artery. Again, consider that arterial supply at the end. We will discuss. So here superior border of the head of pancreas is related to first part of duodenum as well as superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. And inferior border, it is related to third part of duodenum as well as inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. And right lateral border, it is related to the second part of duodenum as well as anterior and posterior pancreatico-duodenal arterial arcades are simply arterial branches. So superior border, this is inferior border, and this is right lateral border. Superior border is related to, this is first part of duodenum, second part of duodenum, third part of duodenum, and fourth part. So superior border is related to first part, inferior border is related to third part, and right lateral border is related to second part of duodenum. So after knowing what exactly the borders are related to concern with the duodenum, then you have to know the arteries related to those borders. The superior border is related to superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Inferior border is related to inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, this part. And right lateral border is related to anterior pancreatico-duodenal arterial arcade, posterior pancreatico-duodenal arterial arcade. So this is regarding the head of pancreas. So again, revise back. So anterior surface is related from above downwards to first part of duodenum, transverse colon, jejunum, and posterior surface is related to inferior vena cava, terminal parts of renal veins, bile duct, right crest of diaphragm, and uncinate process are related to superior mesenteric vessels and abdominal aorta. So this part, first part of duodenum, transverse colon, piles of jejunum, and uncinate process related to superior mesenteric vessels, and here IVC as well as bile duct related to the posterior relations. So and these were the borders related to the head of pancreas, superior, inferior, and right lateral borders along with its arteries. So this we can represent as of same in this way: anterior, posterior borders as well as uncinate process. So uncinate process is a triangular projection arising from the lower and left part of head, which passes upwards and medially behind superior mesenteric vessels. So what is uncinate process and where it is related to? It is a triangular projection arising from lower and left part of head, passing upwards medially behind superior mesenteric vessels. And then second part of pancreas, that is neck of pancreas. So it is slightly constricted part of gland which connects head as well as body of pancreas. You can see here, this is head of pancreas, neck of pancreas, body as well as tail, and head. You can see here uncinate process, and neck is a constricted part of the gland which is going to connect head as well as body of pancreas. So it is about 1 inch in length, directed forwards, upwards, and to left side. So you can see here there are two surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface, upper border and lower border. So there are two surfaces related to neck of pancreas: anterior surface, which you see in front, and posterior surface. There are upper border as well as lower border. You can see the neck of pancreas, which forms a constituted portion between head as well as body of pancreas. In relations, if you see, anterior surface, it is related to peritoneum, covering the posterior wall of lesser sac as well as pylorus of stomach. Whereas posterior surface is related to termination of portal vein. Anterior surface is related covered with peritoneum, so that is concerned the posterior wall of lesser sac and pylorus. Posterior surface is related to termination of portal vein, and upper border is related to first part of duodenum, and lower border is related to root of transverse mesocolon. So here you will be observing the only posterior relations concerned with pancreas. You can see here portal vein as well as superior mesenteric vein. So anterior surface will be covering the posterior wall of lesser sac as well as pylorus, whereas posterior surface is related to the terminal portion of portal vein that you can see here, portal vein. And upper border is related to first part of duodenum, lower border is related to transverse mesocolon. And then third part, body of pancreas. So it is the elongated part of gland extending from neck to tail, and it passes towards the left of midline with slight upward as well as backward inclination, where it lies in front of vertebral column or just below transpyloric plane. So elongated part of gland extending from its neck to tail, which is passing towards the left of midline lying in front of vertebral column at just below the transpyloric plane. And external features, if you see, concerned with the body of pancreas, we are going to observe three borders, three surfaces, and one process. Three borders were anterior border, superior border, and inferior border. So three surfaces were anterior surface, posterior surface, and inferior surface. And one process is tuber omental, as discussed earlier. It is a part of body projecting just above the lesser curvature of stomach, which comes in contact with lesser omentum across the lesser sac. You can see here the relations of body of pancreas, so which we will come across. So you can see here, this is the body of pancreas. So this is the posterior area, and this is the anterior part. So we'll be seeing all these things. So body of pancreas, so if you see the anterior border, it provides attachment to root of transverse mesocolon. So anterior border will be providing attachment to root of transverse mesocolon, whereas superior border is related to celiac trunk or artery just seen above the tuber omental, and to the right side you are going to observe hepatic artery, and to the left of tuber omental we will be seeing splenic artery, so which you are going to discuss in next slides. So superior border is related to celiac artery above the tuber omental, hepatic artery to the right, and splenic artery to the left of tuber omental. Anterior border will be providing attachment to root of transverse mesocolon, and inferior border is related to superior mesenteric vessels. So that is regarding three borders: anterior border, superior border, and inferior border. So here you can see celiac trunk, hepatic artery, as well as celiac trunk, hepatic artery, as well as splenic artery concerned with the borders of body of pancreas. And then anterior surface, which is concave, directed forwards and upwards, related to lesser sac as well as stomach. The anterior surface is related to lesser sac of stomach. Thus posterior surface of body of pancreas, it is devoid of peritoneum, and it is related to aorta. It is related to aorta, origin of superior mesenteric artery. So both things you can see here, aorta as well as origin of superior mesenteric artery, as well as left kidney, left suprarenal glands, splenic vein, and left renal vessels. So these areas, left kidney, left renal vessels, spleen, left suprarenal gland. So this way the posterior surface relations concerned with the body of pancreas. Inferior surface is covered by peritoneum, and it is related to duodenojejunal flexure, coils of jejunum, and left colic flexure. So duodenojejunal flexure, coils of jejunum, and left colic flexure. So these areas. So inferior surface of body of pancreas is related to left colic flexure, coils of jejunum, and duodenojejunal flexure. So whereas posterior surface, it is related to aorta, origin of superior mesenteric artery. So these areas, so left suprarenal gland, left kidney. So this were the surfaces and borders. So there are nothing but external features related to the body of pancreas. So you can see here celiac trunk, hepatic artery, splenic artery, some superior mesenteric vessels. So inferior surface related to left colic flexure, coils of jejunum, duodenojejunal flexure, and these are the posterior relations related to the body of pancreas. And then the tail of pancreas, which is narrow left extremity of pancreas, which lies within the lieno-renal ligament along with splenic vessels within the hilum of spleen. It is mobile, unlike the other major retroperitoneal parts of gland. So it contains the largest number of islets of Langerhans per unit of tissue, and relations, if you see, concerning the tail of pancreas, so it is related to visceral surface of spleen lying in between gastric impression and colic impression. So this is regarding spleen. So as it is embedded within the hilum of spleen, tail of pancreas were related to visceral surface of spleen seen in between those two impressions within the spleen, that is gastric as well as colic impressions. So overall visual relations, if you see concerning the pancreas, so you can see all the things. So colic flexures, superior mesenteric vessels, hepatic arteries, so splenic artery, this is spleen, left is suprarenal gland, colic flexures, so duodenojejunal flexures. So this is the head of pancreas along with uncinate process, neck of pancreas, body with tuberomental, and tail embedded within the hilum of spleen. And then the ducts of pancreas. So exocrine pancreas is drained by two ducts. So one is the main pancreatic duct called as duct of Wirsung, so which has got herringbone pattern. And the other is accessory pancreatic duct, nothing but duct of Santorni. So exocrine pancreas is drained by two ducts. One is the main pancreatic duct, nothing but duct of Wirsung. The other is accessory pancreatic duct, nothing but duct of Santorni. So this is main pancreatic duct, and this is accessory pancreatic duct, nothing but duct of Santorni. So you'll see how come the major pancreatic duct begins and where it is going to open finally. So main pancreatic duct, otherwise called the duct of Wirsung, which is 3 millimeters, begins within the tail of pancreas. So it begins within tail of pancreas by union of number of smaller ducts. So if you see the course, so it passes from the left to right side through the body midway between upper and lower margins, and it lies close to the posterior surface of pancreas. So it is going to pass from left side to right side. You can see here. So it passes from left side to right side, and where it is going to begin? Within the hilum of spleen, that is nothing but the tail part. So it passes from left to right through the body midway between upper and lower margins, and it lies close to the posterior surface of pancreas. So in its due course, main duct will be receiving number of smaller ducts that will be opening at regular openings, which you are going to resemble herringbone pattern. So you can see the herringbone pattern here. This is the herringbone pattern. So at the neck, main duct passes downwards. So it begins within the tail of pancreas, and as it is reaching the neck, main duct will be passing downwards, backwards, and to the right side. Finally, it reaches the posteromedial wall of second part of duodenum. You know that head is embedded within the C-shaped curve of concavity of duodenum. So pancreatic duct, which is beginning within the tail of pancreas by union of number of smaller ducts, reaches neck, where the duct passes downwards, backwards, and to the right, and it finally reaches the posterior medial wall of second part of duodenum. After reaching the second part of duodenum, this will be meeting the bile duct. So both the ducts now pierce the duodenal wall separately and later unites to form ampulla of Vater. So this duct, main pancreatic duct at second part of duodenum, will be meeting the bile duct, and both the ducts now pierces the wall of duodenum separately, and later they unite to form ampulla of Vater. This ampulla of Vater opens into major duodenal papilla. So this is regarding the main pancreatic duct, otherwise called duct of Wirsung. So this is the duct of Wirsung beginning from the left side and reaching the major duodenal papillae. So it is going to be seen or joining with the bile duct here. And then accessory pancreatic duct, otherwise called duct of Santorni. So it begins within the lower part of head of pancreas, crosses the front of main duct, with which it communicates and opens into the duodenum at minor duodenal papillae. Here you can see. So it begins in the lower part of head of pancreas, crosses the front of main duct, that is duct of Wirsung, with which it communicates and opens into the duodenum at minor duodenal papillae. So major duct will be opening, main duct will be opening with major duodenal papillae, whereas the accessory pancreatic duct will be opening into the duodenum at minor duodenal papillae. And then arterial supply, you see concerning the pancreas. So main is the splenic artery, which is a branch of celiac trunk. So, and it is the main source of blood supply to pancreas. Here you can see one large branch arising near the tail, which runs towards the neck, and it is called arteria pancreatica magna. And another relatively small branch which runs towards the tip of tail is termed so arteria cardia pancreatica. So you can see the branches here. So arteria cardia pancreatica as well as arteria pancreatica magna, which are arising from splenic artery, which is the major branch supplying the pancreas. Splenic artery. You can see arteria cardia pancreatica as well as arteria pancreatica magna here. So another two branches were superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, which is a branch of gastroduodenal artery, and inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. You can see here from the gastroduodenal artery, you can see superior pancreaticoduodenal artery supplying. Then from superior mesenteric artery, you can see the inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. So these were arterial branches supplying pancreas. And venous drainage. So those will be drained into portal vein. So all the venous drainage will be opened into portal vein, superior mesenteric vein, as well as splenic vein. So veins will be drained into portal vein, superior mesenteric vein, as well as splenic vein. And then lymphatic drainage. So you can see all the lymph will be drained within the pancreaticosplenic lymph nodes, which are nothing but considered as main group. Another will be the celiac nodes as well as superior mesenteric lymph nodes. So you can see here celiac nodes, so pancreaticosplenic nodes, and superior mesenteric nodes. And now supply. So vagus, otherwise parasympathetic, and splanchnic sympathetic nerves, they will be supplying pancreas through excesses around its arteries. So sympathetic nerves are vasomotor. Sympathetic nerves are vasomotor, whereas parasympathetic nerves, they control pancreatic secretion. So vagus are parasympathetic and splanchnic are sympathetic nerves. They supply pancreas through excess around the arteries. Sympathetic nerves will be vasomotor and parasympathetic nerves control pancreatic secretion. So functions, as we discussed earlier, so it helps in digestion, endocrine function, as well as the pancreatic juice, so provides appropriate alkaline medium for activity of pancreatic enzymes. So pancreatic juice will be containing many digestive enzymes. So example, trypsin will be breaking down proteins into lower peptides and endocrine function. So insulin helps in utilization of sugars in cells. So deficiency of insulin results in hyperglycemia, and that condition is regarded known as diabetes mellitus. And development as a small part, so as you already completed, so it arises as a large dorsal bud and small ventral bud. So it arises as a large dorsal bud and ventral bud which fuses to form pancreas. Ventral bud forms uncinnated process and inferior part of head of pancreas, whereas dorsal bud forms a part of head, whole of neck, body, as well as tail of pancreas, and duct of ventral bud taps the duct of dorsal pancreatic bud near its neck and opens into duodenum as main pancreatic duct. So proximal part of duct of dorsal pancreatic duct will be forming accessory pancreatic duct. So it arises as large dorsal bud and small ventral bud, which further fuses to form the whole pancreas. And clinical aspects concerned, so you will be observing the carcinoma of head of pancreas, which is common. So where you will be seeing the compression of bile duct leading to persistent obstructive jaundice, which may press the portal vein or may involve the stomach due to close vicinity of these structures to the head of pancreas. So which we already discussed in concern with relations of head of pancreas. And acute pancreatitis is the acute inflammation of pancreas occurs due to obstruction of pancreatic duct, ingestion of alcohol, viral infections, or trauma. So it is a serious condition because activated pancreatic enzymes leak into the